All right, we're continuing on with our test prep for chapters 1 to 5 test. This is a problem like number 6 that says to put it in simplest form of 4 2/3 divided by 3/4. I made the problem even harder, so that one on the page should be pretty simple for you. When we're dealing with mixed numbers and we're multiplying or dividing, you have to first change those into improper fractions. That means that the numerator is larger than the denominator. So for 3 1/4, we do 4 times 3. That means 4/4 is a whole. So if we have 3 4/4, we have 12 fourths plus one more fourth is 13 fourths. And we're dividing that by 6 times 1 is 6 plus 5 is 11 sixths. And this is how you show your work, by the way, on this stuff too. That'll help you a lot. All these problems, I'm showing you how to show your work. 13 fourths times 6 elevenths, because I'm flipping that second fraction. Now, before I multiply, I want to simplify these numbers. I can divide 4 by 2 and 6 by 2, so those can become 3 halves instead of 6 fourths that I see there. 13 times 3 is 39, and 2 times 11 is 22. And 22 goes into 39 one time, with a remainder of, what would that be, 17 22s. So there's your answer, 1 and 17 22s. All right, I'm going to clear that off. And let's go to number 7. It says, what is 2/5 of 7 halves? So number 7, I'm going to do a different one. What is 3/4 of, let's do 5/9? Sure, why not? Okay, 3/4 of 5/9. And when we're finding how a fraction of a number, we're multiplying it by that number. Just like if I said, what is 7 of these pizzas that have like 8 pepperonis on each one of them? Well, 7 groups of those 8 is equal to 56. And so we're actually multiplying there. So we're going to multiply, and I can simplify first because the 3 and the 9 can become 1 and 3. And then 1 times 5 is 5, 4 times 3 is 12, and there's my answer. All right, moving on, number 8. Clear this out. Number 8 is a multiplication of decimal problem. I'm going to do 0.6 times 2.19. Which, it might be a little bit harder than this one. But it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is know how to multiply, and you have to know how to place the decimal point. So I'm going to put the number with more digits on the top to make it easier. Less steps involved. 9 times 6 is 54. And 1 times 6 is 6 plus 5 is 11. And 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Now, the natural thing for all of us to do is just to stick a decimal point between the 13 and the 14 because it looks really nice right there, but that's not necessarily where it goes. We have to determine where it goes based on logic and also how many numbers we find in the problem on the right side of the decimal point. And here I see 3 total numbers on the right side of the decimal point, so my answer has to have 3 total numbers on the right side of the decimal point. If there were 7 numbers on the right side of the decimal point, I'd have to add some zeros in over here so that we'd end up with 7 numbers on the right side of the decimal point. But in this case, I can just stick it right there. Now, the other thing is that I can use is logic. This number here is about 2. 0.6 is pretty close to like a half. So I'm finding half of 2. What would half of 2 be? Well, that would be 1. And notice that this answer is about 1. It's 1.314. Whereas if I put the decimal point right here, it would be 13.14, which is nowhere near the number 1. Or if I put the decimal point out here, that would be way less than 1, not even close to 1. So logic can also tell you where you put that decimal point. All right, let's do one more. We'll do number 9. And then that'll be the end of this video. And the next video will cover the next few problems. So number 9, Santa Claus had $75. Burritos cost $5.85 each. How many burritos can Santa buy? Well, we're taking his $75 and we're splitting it into $5.85 parts. We're seeing how many 5.85s can go into $75. Now, if I multiply, to get rid of this decimal point out here in the divisor, if I multiply that by 100, the decimal point goes to there, which if I multiply 75 times 100, it becomes 7,500 divided by 585, which is the exact same problem because 75 divided by 5.85 can also be expressed as a fraction. And if I multiply the numerator times 100, I have to multiply the denominator by 100. And so that's why I'm doing that to that number there. So the decimal point is no longer at 5.845, it's 585 going into 7,500. How many times does that go in? Well, I can see that 585 can go into 750 one time, and that's pretty easy at that point, right? And so now I got to regroup here and make that 10 minus 5, 4 minus 8, got to regroup again, make that 14 minus 8, which is 6, 6 minus 5 is 1. Now we're at 1650 divided by 585. You're going to have to guess and check at this point. 585 is almost 600. 600 times 3 is 1800. I think that's going to be too big. 1650, it's going to be too close to 1800. It's probably going to be at least 1700 if I multiply that by 3. So let's try 585 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. Is that close enough? Can I fit another 585 in there? Well, if I put 500 added on to the 1100, that's 1600. 1670, there's no way I can fit another 585 into there. So I know it goes in 2 times, which is 1170. And I regroup, make that a 5, 8, 4, 480 left over. So it's 12, remainder 480, which is not really that important because it says how many burritos can Santa Claus buy. And so in my, oh, crud.